What's up guys, my name is Javier and welcome back. So today we're going to take a look at the newly released reciprocating saw from Dewalt for the 20 volt max cordless power tool line. And even before this model, Dewalt already had a cordless 20 volt max reciprocating saw, so what makes this model so special is that it's the new compact model. They reconfigured the design of the motor to achieve this by giving the saw a drop motor style, sort of like what is seen on compact rotary hammers. This is actually Dewalt's second reciprocating saw based on this design. The first one was a nearly identical corded model, which this 20 volt model was based on. This new saw is only 14.5 inches long, so it's noticeably shorter than regular inline models. And because of its shorter size, it can now fit into some tighter spots. In fact, it can even fit in between studs that are only 16 inches apart. I took the blade out in this demonstration so you can see it fit in between studs. And it's a bit lighter than its previous cordless inline brother, coming in at 6.4 pounds, so lighter is always better, especially when you're going to be working with this saw for long periods of time. So any reduction in weight is greatly appreciated. And I thought the saw was well balanced. By itself, it's a little bit front heavy, but once you install the battery, it greatly balances out the tool, and it actually makes it easy to use with one hand. Now, you're probably going to use it with two hands most of the time, but it's light enough where it's easy to use with one hand if needed here and there. And the next feature that I like is the 4-position keyless blade clamp system that they borrowed from some of their other recip saws. It used a lever on the side to insert and remove blades, and you can place the blade vertically just like any other recip saw. But what makes this saw special is that you can place a blade horizontally to make it easier when cutting sideways. But the main benefit to this extra feature is the ability to make flush cuts. For example, let's say you want to cut a pipe that sticks out of a floor, but you want to cut it flush so none of it sticks out. Well, you could do that with this saw. And to demonstrate it, I'm going to do some flush cutting of my own. Here I have a 2x4 nailed to a piece of OSB, and you can imagine that this would be the subfloor and the 2x4 is the bottom of a framed wall. Check it out as this saw cuts all the nails in between the 2x4 and the OSB flush. This is a nice feature to have, as you can see. The blade clamp is near the edge of the saw opening, but not exactly at the very edge. And for flush cutting to work, you're going to need a blade long enough, such as a 9-inch blade, so that it can flex a bit to get that flush cut. And also, what makes it what Dewalt calls it a 4-position blade clamp is that you can position the blade in both directions in the vertical position and in both directions in the horizontal position for a total of 4 positions. At the front of the saw where the shoe is an LED light for lighting up dark areas. This is great for lighting up the work area just before the cut. And the light is activated when you press the trigger, and it stays on for about 20 seconds when you let go of the trigger. So you can use it as a temporary light. It has a variable speed brush motor that tops out at 2,900 no-load speed strokes per minute with a full-size stroke length at 1 1/8 inches. This gives this saw plenty of power to cut through all sorts of materials. And let's take a look at how it cuts lumber, starting out with a nail-embedded 2x4. Most people using these recip saws will be doing plenty of demolition work, so nail-embedded lumber such as a 2x4 will be one of the various materials you'll come across on the job site. While we watch this saw kick some butt, I also want to mention that it has a pivoting shoe, which helps out with the tilting motion when making cuts, by keeping the saw in close contact with the material at all times, although the shoe itself can't be extended. This next demonstration is demolishing a 4x4 post, which was taken from a deck. In this demonstration, you can see that there's a good amount of vibration, and a lot of the vibration is transferred back to you and can be felt in your arms. But you can also see the amount of power that this saw has and is very capable of destroying such a thick piece of lumber. Another type of situation people on the field will encounter will be cutting metal, such as metal rod and tubing. So here we have it cutting a piece of 3/4 inch EMT. It has plenty of power to get the job done, as you can see. Just make sure to start off nice and slow at the beginning of the cut to avoid the blade from bouncing around. So as you can see, it's a pretty cool saw. I like the compact design, not only because it can fit in tighter areas, but because it also takes up less space in storage. Anyone that has to cram a bunch of tools in a small space knows how important this is. The next feature that I like is the 4-position blade system, as it's very easy to make flush cuts. This isn't something you can easily do with other reciprocating saws. Usually you have to buy a special blade for when making flush cuts, but this saw makes it very easy with just about any blade. Just make sure to get a blade long enough so that the blade can flex when making flush cuts. Although it doesn't seem to have any anti-vibration features, so plenty, if not all the vibration, will be transferred to your workpiece and your arms. But what I did like about this saw is that it has more than enough power to get the job done when cutting through various materials, such as wood and metal. I know many people seem to think that cordless power tools are underpowered, but that's just not the case with this cordless reciprocating saw from Dewalt. And the battery runtime is actually pretty good. I started off with a 4.0 amp hour battery with 2 out of 3 bars of power, and I must have done about 21 cuts, cutting into various materials such as lumber, metal, including 4x4s, EMT conduit, and plastic, and I still ended up with 2 out of 3 bars when all the cuts were done. And just before I wrap up this video, let's take a look at what's included with this saw when you buy it in a kit. From what I've seen so far, this saw comes in 2 kit variations. I happen to get the saw kit that includes a very nice Dewalt Tough System case. Normally this case comes by itself with a bunch of storage bins, but on the inside it comes with a cool tool liner to fit your reciprocating saw perfectly in place. And it can be removed if needed, so you can use the tough case as a regular toolbox. And as you can see, it comes with the fast charger, the DCB101, and a 3.0 amp hour battery that charges in about 60 minutes. The battery itself has a battery fuel gauge built in, so you can check the remaining battery charge at any time. And in case you're wondering, no blades are included with this kit, so you have to go out and buy some. The other cool features about this case is that it features a secret compartment on top to store your bits and your blades. The next feature is a moisture and dust resistant seal with an air regulator valve on top, and the case itself is also stackable and lockable with other Tough System toolboxes. And the price for this saw kit is actually very affordable at only $199. And you can also get this saw in a separate kit that includes a tool bag and the very large capacity 5.0 amp hour battery for some extremely long run times. And the price for this kit is $249 at the time of this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you guys think of this Dewalt 20 volt max compact reciprocating saw. Also, make sure to check me out over at social media at Facebook and Google+. And thanks for watching.